It's real sweat. I'm a high performance athlete. Athletes sweat. Sweat, baby. Sweat, sweat.
Ooh, spooky title, huh? Very fitting for what you are about to witness happen on this track for my last and final race of the season before we start back up again next year in 2023 in April. But listen, this is going to be a mess. We're actually being spoken to right now by the race director who's letting you know, listen, this ain't no high school cafeteria. You guys are race drivers, race car drivers, so act like it, because right now you're serving up sloppy joes and I don't want to look at it. I don't even want to be a part of it. It's a mess out there. We got people going in the wall. I don't know if it's intentional or if you guys are really just struggling today because as you saw the title, okay? Like I said, very fitting for what's happening, not because it's just October and I'm trying to scare you guys, but this is the hairpin from hell. So I give him the thumbs up and we're like, all right, let's get to racing. Because as you will witness, my buddy Sky right here in the white helmet, he gets sent into the freaking no man's land, into the wall, multiple times by a reappearing shameful rammer right there. He actually goes to speak to Sky, I guess, to try and find some reasoning as to why he puts Sky into the freaking gravel and wall on multiple occasions when it was a straightaway. Essentially, but here we are, getting ready for practice, flying out. I try to put some heat into these bad boys. You know, look at that freaking form as I just skating on ice at the moment because it is about 8:45 in the morning. And let me tell you, it truly is like a skating rink out here. But we are in Salt Lake City, so hopefully we can have a miracle on ice. Very cheesy reference, but it's definitely going to happen, all right? And by definitely going to happen, it doesn't. Coming to the hairpin here, I know they've changed the formation. I'm up in front, so I am putting pedal to the metal, and I am enjoying every single moment. Go through the S's because I'm familiar with it, and I'm like, okay, no left-hand turn here. I see barriers coming up ahead. Where the heck is my turn? And there it is. And I go straight into the gravel. There's your hairpin, ladies and gentlemen. Straight from the depths of hell. It's like, it is unbearable. That hairpin is the great equalizer. You will later see during every single race plumes of smoke and gravel every time you pass it. It was terrifying. But here we are, jumping into qualifying. Alright? And this, I'm thinking, alright, you know, I stayed up in third for practice because after taking that hairpin, I dropped down 2 places because some drivers actually were able to handle it better than me, surprisingly. And by surprisingly, I was actually a little surprised, actually, by how some people were handling it. But anyways, I stayed up in front. Qualifying here, they're doing some weird feng shui rearrangement of the grid they thought they'd do today. And so I'm just flying through, surprisingly, and I see the yellow flag. So you're probably thinking, Kenny, yeah, you're an idiot. Slow down. Something obviously has happened on the track for there to be a yellow flag. Normally, everybody ignores the yellow flag. I normally obey them, and I'm just like, okay, no passing, but I really wanted to take my opportunity here. I was in a very fast kart, and I'm looking around still. I'm thinking, why are they all bunched up back there? What's going on, guys? And I take the hairpin just embarrassingly, just miserably, horribly, okay? And I'm looking back, and I'm like, wow, okay, caused a little bit of a problem back there, and I'm slowing down because we're starting to get to the grid, and I'm like, oh snap. Did I miss the memo? Was this supposed to be a standing start? Is that why everybody's going slow and I seem to be zooming through the grid with ease like Verstappen? Got my driver hand up here like, hey, what? I'm driving here, what's going on? And he goes, yeah, pull over to the side, okay? You're not going to be putting in any spicy laps at the moment. And I look at it, I'm like, yeah, I did not know this was a standing freaking formation, standing start, whatever you want to call it. And he's like, okay, where do I got to roll you back? And I'm like, honestly, if you just want to roll me to the very back, I would have no problem with that. But he puts me right back here in my place. And I normally don't get embarrassed, but that was very embarrassing. And I was like, my goodness, this is gonna affect my entire race. And already, mentally, I was jacked up. I started swinging mentally, physically. It was bad. And I don't have a tinted visor, so I was like, yeah, I'm sunburnt, guys. I'm not blushing. Haha. Let's get the green flag. Let's just get moving here. Come on. Let's go. Today. Alright, visors down, let's go, green flag, and we start qualifying. Shake the car like a little baby because, it is only about 11:45 now, so the tires still are a little bit chilled, but that's fine. I go a little bit wide here on this first turn, allow these karts, to do bumper karts. I do not want to spin out and be a freaking spectacle out there in the gravel for everybody to look at, so I let them fight, and I gain some places, and I'm thinking, okay, maybe I'm not so jacked up mentally. Maybe I don't have as many mental problems as I thought I did in the beginning of this race. And yes, you may be thinking, actually, it's just qualifying. No, we treat this like a race, okay? You gotta be the fastest out there. You gotta put your elbows out. You gotta be aggressive. And I just know this hairpin, try to take it slow. Let everybody figure it out, because right here we got a guy spinning out, dealing with oversteer. Going into the gravel, one guy wanted to freaking touch the wall, see what it actually feels like. He's like, I've been inside for far too long. I need to go outside and touch some grass. And he does. And I take advantage of that and I pass them. Sharp thinking, but actually, I had slowed down enough to just kind of weave my way through there because I was not going to be a victim of the hairpin. So we jump forward maybe 2 or 3 laps now into the race. I'm still struggling. I'm trying to think, do I let off? Do I break into the hairpin? Because each time I'm just getting right there to kiss in the gravel. Dylan and Jesse, these two passed me. They had great race pace in qualifying session. So I tug right behind Dylan. I'm like, okay, I'll take advantage of this. Tuck behind, let my kart gain some speed, and I'll make a move in this first turn. But their karts, you know what? I'm going to have a talk with the race director again after this because this is ridiculous. Freaking test their karts for freaking steroid gasoline or something because they were flying on their straights. My kart picked up and flew. But these karts were on a whole other level with the straightaways. Dylan, he would drop back here and there. But Jessie, my goodness, she would just fly. Here we are coming into the hairpin. I'm just tucked behind thinking, okay, get your head down. Someone will have to make a mistake because with the rest of the track, I knew the formation. I knew the racing line. I knew where the grip would be. I knew the braking points. This hairpin is what was going to be a mess. Alright, like I said, this hairpin was serving up a freaking Denny's Grand Slam, scrambled eggs, alright? Over easy, runny, it was messy. It was just a freaking mess. But finally, if you look up ahead, we see some people fighting. And I think Jessie, she tries to take advantage of that and spins out, goes out wide, probably dealing with some understeer, and just, you try to brake when you get understeer. And that actually, for some reason, just immediately reverses the effect, goes into oversteer, and you go into like a spinning clock. You just spin. It's no fun. Dylan here dipping his freaking toes into the gravel. I make a pass. Thank you. I'm thanking him. Okay, I've made up 2 places now. And that's what happens when you have a little bit of patience. When you ease up on the throttle, you allow sometimes other drivers to make mistakes, let them fight it out, and you can make those passes. And that's what I did. So from here, I knew they had faster karts if they got to me on the straights. So I just tuck my head, human DRS, and I take these freaking first turns like a freaking NASCAR driver taking a banked left turn for his life. Alright, because I felt good on that first turn. Normally, I was not a fan of it, but I was able to figure it out and take it just full throttle. Just every time, just about. I had a little tap here and there on the brakes if I knew I'd be going wide. And then that double apex back there, strangely, you have to go flat out with it every single time. If you let off even the tiniest a bit, if you brake, you're losing so much speed. This guy, not even Dylan, I feel so bad for him. He came out of nowhere, freaked me out. I slam my brakes, get on ice skates, and I just slam right into him, sending him into the wall, allowing Jesse and Dylan and this guy to pass. And I'm just, you know what, I wasn't too upset. I'm just glad I didn't send him actually into the wall. Didn't send him too far off. He was able to recover and make his way back onto the track, thank goodness, because I didn't want to be that guy. I didn't want to be the guy who slammed the brakes and ruined somebody's race completely. But I knew right here we got Sky. Off into the gravel, my goodness, Sky, he was at the top actually. Speaking to him after the race, he was in third, battling his little heart out, and then just lost it right there. Somebody intentionally made eye contact with him and said, sorry, just not today, and just made a move, put him off into the wall. I was a little concerned, but I saw that he was moving and uninjured for the time being. So Sky, if you're watching this, I will also have to admit, I thought, okay, that's one less person to worry about, and now this is two less people to worry about, because Dylan, he's like, I want to touch it. I want to touch the wall. I've seen other people touch the wall, and I'm thinking, it's now my turn to touch the wall. And so he did. And this is us finishing up the race, qualifying. I finished down in 10th or 11th. So I average out, let's see, I was about 8th or 7th in the last few races. So I averaged out probably 10th. Get the checkered flag. And we are going to make our way into the last and final race. Whew. Pretty exciting. Hairpin from Hell really came out of nowhere. They named this formation Insanity. And let me tell you, it has really caused insanity, as you've noticed. Plumes of smoke everywhere, gravel on the track, tread from tires everywhere. Here we are, green flag, we're flying into the first turn. I try to go on the outside to avoid the freaking spinners and bumpers, freaking bumper carts going on here. And I do. I let them bump, they lose time, I tuck in here, get past this cart, putting along, and I'm thinking, okay, I still got a large group in front of me, but I know as soon as we get to the hairpin, the great equalizer, some moves can be made, some magic will happen. But we are much later in the day, our carts are hot, our tires are sticky, so I know the grip is going to give us a great advantage. And with these people who have found a racing line far superior than mine, I know I'm going to have some great competition. So here we are preparing for the hairpin. I let off about right here, go on the outside as these two guys fight it out, and I went on the outside far. I don't know what I was thinking. I really thought I could make it happen, but freaking 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, the whole grid passed me. But I go on the inside, fight this guy, not even a fight. This guy, don't even know what he was thinking, but he's off in the gravel, and I'm thinking, okay, one less cart to worry about. Tuck myself in, human DRS. I just try to make something happen. And each time as I went on a straightaway, I was like, please let me be the faster cart. Swing around. That guy was sleeping. There we go, 2 carts down. Here we are taking this first turn with tremendous speed, going around. Woo! There's like dodgeball out there. Freaking remember the 5 Ds of dodgeball. Dodge, dip, duck, dive, and dodge, because sometimes with these arrive and drive races, that is exactly what you feel like, especially with the track formation insanity, with people not understanding how to take the Z formation hairpin, this freaking broken down jacked up, kicked around hairpin, whatever you want to call it. And listen, I struggled with it too. But that's what it felt like. Freaking dodgeball game out here. Because as you see, clouds of smoke everywhere. We got people dipping their toes into the deep end of the pool, freaking losing it, freaking out, fighting, losing the steering wheel, going into the wall. And you have to dodge that. You have to be a quick thinker and think ahead and go, okay, see like 5-10 moves ahead. It's almost like playing 4D chess. It is wild. You're playing dodgeball, 4D chess, you're karting. It is wild out there. Okay? Got this guy passing me. That's John, the guy who drives Mazda Miatas. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, if I can't make it up to the crowd up front, I can have some fun and a good fight with this guy right here. So we go fisticuffs for these next few rounds. He goes a little wide. I try to push him out, but not too far. I try to be respectable. And he gets me, so I'm thinking, okay, I know he does well on the hairpin ear because in the past qualifying and in practice, I saw his racing. I was looking at him, and he was doing pretty well, but I knew that there were some areas I could, sorry, John, but I knew I could better, okay? So, the hairpin, he was taking it in. He was taking it in close to the curb. There's a curb there in that hairpin that if you don't see it, it blends in very well to the red paint. But my goodness, if you hit that, you're a goner. You're done for. So that hairpin was so tricky, and I know I talk about it a lot, but it's just like the highlight of this whole entire race because each time it just would rearrange the grid. There's Will to the right of us. He also does sim racing, hangs out at the Mazda Miata crowd. Don't know what was happening there. Talked to him later, and he said he was waiting to make a move on someone. Or I don't know who, because me and John were the only guys there for a bit. It's pretty, yeah. Anyways, so here we are fighting with John. Coming up, I know if I just stay on his racing line, I can do well, but he cut it in close on that hairpin to that curb. That's what I was talking about. That curve, you either let off or you brake. It's a mess each time, and you're about to see a mess happen before your eyes because I'm thinking, okay, I think I can possibly late brake here. Someone spins out in front of us. He ends up braking really hard. I slam into the rear end of him. He goes out into the gravel, allowing Will and another driver, I think it was Jesse, to make a pass on us. And I'm thinking, okay, Will, man, just take your spot back. Because that was freaking whiplash, alright? Wild. But just not enough time to think sometimes in that hairpin. So here we are, trying to get back onto speed, trying to clean our tires after hitting some gravel. This guy comes out of nowhere. I really don't try and fight him because if you dive into that first turn and try to put up a fight with someone doing that, you will also end up in the gravel. It's just bad news bears for everyone. So I tuck in behind and I'm thinking to myself, John's my true target. Don't know where this guy came from. I'll try and fight him a little bit. I lost a little bit of time there, hooking my tires around that hairpin, getting the bump and grind, just like Akon would like. Bumping and grinding on that hairpin, it really messed me up because they dropped back. So I'm thinking, okay, I just need to nail this hairpin. I see some smoke up ahead, so I'm thinking, okay, people are going to be fighting. But it ends up to be these two right here. They lose it, kind of go out wide. Me and John cut it in close. And I just stay on the racing line. I know John right now is the better driver. So I just need to tuck in, stay behind, and just hopefully my patience, which I rarely ever have, will reward me and allow me to make a pass on John. Because we're coming into, I believe, our second to last lap, one of our last few laps here. And here we are, just tucked in. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, right here, can I make it happen? Cutting in close, push him out. No, okay. John gets me on the straight. You see I kind of shift my hands. I'm thinking to myself, okay, John, you got it. You go out wide on the hairpin. I cut it in close. He gets better momentum and speed. It's strange with that hairpin because you want to end up going out wide with it, but you just get so close to taking in that bumper and the gravel. It's just bad. It's hard. This track was throwing curveballs at you left and right. It was both mentally and physically exhausting. And here we are fighting with John, and I believe we are coming into our second to last lap. So we're technically in the third to last lap. Lap. Whew, I'm getting exhausted myself just talking. But we are tucking in. Human DRS, as always, trying to get that extra hundredth or tenth of a second, whatever you want to call it, whatever you get. I haven't even seen the science or the math on it, but it's a mental thing as well, and it makes you feel like you're going a lot faster. And I'm tucking in, I'm losing my tires, I'm slipping and sliding like it's at a freaking children's birthday party on the freaking slip and slide. It is not good. As we come into this final hairpin, I'm thinking, okay, John, please make a mistake. But I see clouds of smoke about to show up ahead. I'm thinking, okay, somebody's made a mistake. This at least drops somebody and allows me to move up a couple places. But I see it's my boy Sky, and he has made a dent into that wall. And that is no good, but don't worry, Sky is fine. He's alive, walking, talking just well. Sadly, that was the end of his race due to the reappearance of a shameful rammer, but everyone, we finish in 10th place. Please like, subscribe, comment. I hope you enjoyed the video. Never made the pass on John, but hey, we get the checker flag.
It's real sweat. I'm a high performance athlete. Athletes sweat. Sweat, baby. Sweat, sweat.